Morning milking, the usual start to the day for dairy farmers up and down Kent. But at the Winterdale Cheese Barn in Wrotham, things are done a little differently.
We're using the milk fresh from the cow, warm, so that's the biggest and best thing. So no energy required for heating up at the beginning of cheese making. And then of course the wonderful cave, naturally cool all year round. So for 10 months we don't use any energy to mature that cheese. So you've got the two elements there that almost make us, energy free anyway.
Robin's family has been farming in Kent since the late 15th century, but it's been in the last few years since they've gone carbon neutral, including through their delivery service, that they've been paving the way for dairy farmers in the county.
It's interesting how it's evolved into carbon neutral. We've always been very, very good at what we do in terms of low energy input. And so the only little bit of energy we use is, as you see in the background now, we're stirring and a little bit of heating up during the day, and that's it. So what we did was worked out how we could make that carbon neutral, and simply all we did was to install photovoltaic panels or solar panels and a ground source heat pump, and those two elements now make us completely carbon neutral.
After 3 days of milking, processing and pressing, the cheeses are taken down here where they mature over 10 months before they're dispatched across Kent and London. While Winterdale cheeses have earned royal approval, some traditional farmers have turned their noses up at the whole process, including at first Robin's wife Carla.
We spent the first probably couple of years with our whole idea of what we were doing, running into people and literally just, some of it was just mickey taking and some of it was, well, what would you want to do that for, and quite negative comments. To be honest, when we're members of the Specialist Cheesemakers Association, they are really good, so what feedback we're getting is comical, there's a little bit of mickey taking, but actually there are more and more people now quite impressed with actually how we've developed over the last 4 years since we first moved into this. And actually there are 1 or 2 cheesemakers now looking at maturing their cheese in the same way in the environment that we're in.
I think there was a bit of scepticism at the beginning. Dairy farmers are dairy farmers, they're not cheesemakers. But the world is changing. Dairy farmers have to evolve with changing times.
Fluctuations in milk prices and the growing importance consumers are placing on added value means the secret to the future of cheese making may lie with being greener and carbon friendly. Cameron Tucker, KMTV, Wrotham.